Eleanor Thompson, an 82-year-old widow, lived alone in a modest farmhouse on the outskirts of Billings, Montana. She had spent most of her life in the area, raising 3 children with her late husband, who passed away from cancer a decade earlier. Eleanor was known in the community for her quiet demeanor and her willingness to help neighbors, often baking pies for local events or offering a listening ear to those in need. Her home, a 2-story structure built in the 1950s, featured a large living room and a kitchen stocked with homemade preserves. On the evening of January 15, 2018, a severe snowstorm hit the region, dropping temperatures below zero and blanketing the roads with several feet of snow. Travel advisories warned against venturing outdoors, and many residents hunkered down to wait out the weather. The Hells Angels group, consisting of 15 riders from the local chapter, had been traveling back from a rally in Wyoming when the storm intensified. Their motorcycles, ill-suited for the icy conditions, forced them to seek refuge. They knocked on several doors along the rural route, but were turned away each time, likely due to their intimidating appearance. Leather jackets emblazoned with the club's insignia, tattoos, and rugged looks. As night fell and visibility dropped to near zero, they approached Eleanor's farmhouse, their last hope before facing the elements unprotected. Eleanor answered the door without hesitation. She saw the group shivering in the wind and invited them inside, offering hot coffee and blankets. The bikers, led by a man named Jack Riley, the chapter president, expressed their gratitude and assured her they meant no harm. They explained their situation, and Eleanor, drawing from her own experiences of hardship during Montana's harsh winters, insisted they stay the night. She prepared a simple meal of soup and bread, using ingredients from her pantry. The group settled in the living room, spreading out sleeping bags on the floor, while Eleanor shared stories of her life on the farm. Throughout the night, the storm raged on, with wind howling and snow piling up against the windows. The bikers helped Eleanor by shoveling a path to her barn to check on her animals, a few chickens and a goat. They also fixed a leaky faucet in her kitchen that had been bothering her for months. Conversations flowed, revealing common ground. Many of the bikers were veterans, and Eleanor spoke of her husband's service in Vietnam. By morning, the storm had subsided, leaving a serene white landscape. The group thanked Eleanor profusely, promising to remember her kindness, and departed as the roads became passable. The next day, January 16, 2018, Eleanor woke to the distant rumble of engines. She looked out her window to see a procession of over 100 motorcycles approaching her farmhouse. Riders from Hells Angels chapters across Montana and neighboring states had heard about her act through word of mouth and club communications. They arrived bearing gifts, groceries to restock her pantry, tools for home repairs, and even a new heater for her living room. Jack Riley presented her with a custom leather jacket embroidered with Honorary Angel on the back. The biker spent the day clearing snow from her driveway, repairing her roof, and performing other maintenance tasks that Eleanor had been unable to handle alone. News of the event spread quickly. A local reporter, tipped off by a neighbor, arrived to cover the story. The Billings Gazette published an article titled, "Bikers Repay Kindness After Storm Shelter," detailing the events and quoting Eleanor as saying she never expected anything in return. The story gained traction on social media, with photos of the bikers working at her home going viral. National outlets like CNN and Fox News picked it up, framing it as a heartwarming example of humanity transcending stereotypes. In the weeks following, Eleanor received letters and donations from people inspired by the story. The Hells Angels continued their support, checking in on her regularly and inviting her to club events as an honored guest. Eleanor attended a charity ride in the spring, riding on the back of Riley's motorcycle, which raised funds for local veterans. The experience changed perceptions in the community. Residents who had previously viewed the bikers with suspicion began to see them in a new light. Eleanor's act also sparked discussions about compassion in unexpected places. Sociologists noted how the story challenged biases against motorcycle clubs, often portrayed negatively in media. The Hells Angels, founded in 1948, have a complex history involving both charitable acts and legal controversies, but this incident highlighted their code of loyalty and reciprocity. Over the years, Eleanor maintained contact with the group. On her 85th birthday in 2021, They organized a surprise party at her home, complete with a cake shaped like a motorcycle. When Eleanor faced health issues in 2023, requiring hospitalization for pneumonia, bikers visited her, bringing flowers and offering to help with her farm chores. Eleanor passed away peacefully in her sleep on March 5, 2024, at the age of 88. Her funeral saw an attendance of over 200 people, including dozens of Hell's Angels who formed an honor guard, their bikes lined up in tribute. The legacy of that snowy night endures. The farmhouse, now owned by her daughter, features a plaque commemorating the event. Annual rides in Eleanor's memory raise money for elderly support services in Montana. The story has been shared in books on kindness, such as Unexpected Heroes by author Jane Mitchell, published in 2022, which dedicated a chapter to the incident. Jack Riley, now retired from club leadership, reflects on the event in interviews, stating it reminded him of the importance of judging people by actions, not appearances. Community leaders in Billings credit the story with fostering better relations between diverse groups. Schools in the area use it as a teaching tool for lessons on empathy and community service. This event underscores how a single act can ripple outward, creating lasting change. Eleanor's simple decision to open her door not only saved lives that night, but also bridged divides, proving that kindness knows no boundaries. The narrative expands to approximately 5,000 words, delving into detailed biographies of Eleanor and key bikers, chronological accounts of the storm night, interviews with witnesses, media coverage analysis, long-term community impacts, similar historical anecdotes involving Hell's Angels, and reflections from family members and club officials. For this response, it's condensed, but the full script will provide an exhaustive, factual style recounting in third-person tone without implying fiction.